Hello, welcome back to the channel. Welcome to this almost last episode of the Templar Fire Damage Eye of Reckoning build. I'm in Ultimate. My resistances are kind of okay. I didn't do anything really about them coming out of Elite. I thought I'd get into Ultimate and start sorting them out a bit more there. Picking up some quests right at the start. So I've just come in to Ultimate for the first time. Getting in here. Go and talk to the spirit guide. What you notice, what I did was neck down a potion, an experience doubling potion. You can see that icon, it's the one to the far right of the list of icons above the health bar, and that is what you get from, you can buy it from Mammoth Resistance when you're revered with them. I just killed Direni. One school of thought is leave Direni alive in Ultimate so you can constantly farm him in Cronley's lair. I just kill him and get the Blood of Chthon and move on. Don't worry too much about that. This is getting up into Lower Crossing. Go back and rescue, what's his face? Faldis or whatever again in here. Should be familiar with this by now. And this time round, because the prison's open, you can go straight back and get that XP. And whatever quest reward he gives you for rescuing him. Wonderful. Back to Lower Crossing, get in there, grab the shrine. Well, I don't need the shrine, but I got it for the XP and the loot. Kill the Reanimator. You can see this build's doing okay, even without paying much attention to the resistances coming out of Elite. The damage converted to health fills in quite a few of the gaps where you're taking damage and just reclaims the health straight away, level 85. Point in physique. I'm going to just keep putting points into those nodes of Iskandras. This is where I get a good drop from Negan. There's a very nice amulet that he drops. It's just random loot, but it's really good. It's that thing there. Mythical Avatar of Order. +1 to all skills in Oathkeeper and a bunch of fire stuff and some decent resistances. And I've had that Herald's amulet for, well, I don't know, a long time. It's about time I swapped that out.
I need some time to play.
So once you kill the Reanimator, as in normal and elite, just go and talk to whoever you've got to talk to here. Get your skill point off Kasparov.
Welcome to my Rift.
And I'm going to put that in Mirror. Mirror's the thing where you get 3 seconds of 100% damage absorption, so it's like a panic button. If you get into a big fight or a boss fight and you're taking damage, just switch that on. You've got 3 seconds to catch your breath.
The captain send you over? Well, it's a risk.
Get down in here is Viloth fighting Ultimate. Goes really well. Sometimes you can come in here with a build that you think's doing well, and then you go up against Viloth and all of a sudden you think, oh, this isn't as good as I thought it was, but yeah, it's pretty good. It's not, obviously it's not like the most massive high damage build ever, but it does enough damage to carry itself. Level 86, point in physique, point in each of those nodes. I only get them maxed out. I rescued the blacksmith, level 87. I cut out quite a lot of footage. I mean, you don't want to see me doing all this again. It's pretty obvious what's going on. Point in physique, point in each of those. I found Gutworm's cave in Ultimate. I'll go and kill Gutworm. Again, it's a good test. If it goes well, you know your build's kind of okay. If it gets scary, then there's maybe something you need to address. This went okay. That's quite nice, that blueprint, that mythical ruby elemental balance. I'm not going to end up using it, but it's pretty good for an elemental build. Spinning around killing things is kind of relaxing compared to some kind of multiple button build where you're constantly spamming buttons. Level 88, point in physique, those things are almost maxed out. Is the difficult totem in the Warden Cellar. I'm trying not to get completely swamped by these idiots, so I'm moving away from them, making them follow me, rather than standing in the middle of it all. But look at my health, it's kind of okay. The attack damage converted to health doing its thing. And that was it. It was pretty good. Is the Krieg fight. This is similar to in normal because I level up right at the start of the fight and then casually do the points while I'm fighting him. Point in physique, point in each of those nodes, spin round, smack him in the face. Because sometimes you get into ultimate and you come to fight Krieg and then your life takes a horrible turn for the worse, but this went okay. And the good thing about this is once he's out of the way I can get into Forgotten Gods and I can start farming for my next Riftclaw Slicer upgrade. And I kept 3 of the Blood of the Watchers quest items, so I don't have to go and get those quest items. I can pretty much go straight into the area. Well, you'll see in a minute. So you talk to Bourbon and you say, yeah, oh god, get hung up on the wall again. Talk to Bourbon, yeah, I've killed Krieg. Nip round, talk to the emissary for the Forgotten Gods area. Get that rift open. Get in there. Run down here. Talk to him again, yeah, I'll take on the challenge. Take on the challenge, spin around. I don't think I triggered mirror and oh yeah I did, there you go. I triggered mirror in the middle of that just to get some invulnerability for a few seconds. Probably didn't need it. Right, they're all dead. Go back, talk to him, yeah, whatever. Now, I'll go over to the stash and take the quest items out. If you didn't farm them, you'll have to go and do the quest. I've farmed this and kept 3 of those back. So I got 3 Blood of the Watchers. So that was from Elite. If you go back and have a look at the video from Elite, that's where I got them from. So I talked to her, yeah, I want to join Bismail. Go and talk to this Alan or Alec, whatever guy over here. And he'll say, give me the Blood of the Watchers. Oh, I've already got them. Here you go. Do you want anything else? Yeah, open this rift. And this is the rift where you farm the Riftclaw Slicer. So it's that easy if you stockpile those quest items. Wreck them, just keep going. There's Galfang. You can complete the quest, like I said before, you complete the quest, that rift stays open. So you don't have to not complete the quest. You can do whatever you want, complete it, get out, and that green rift will stay there. So you can cash that quest in. And quit out the game, come back in, go and farm that area. I won't bother doing that now. I'll come down here and try and get a shield upgrade. This is near the first rift out in the world in Forgotten Gods, level 90. the last level up with 2 skill points. And they're going to go in there and there. So I've now got Ascension, which is a temporary buff you can turn on whenever you need it. Gives a bit of damage and a bit of damage absorption. This Twin Falls area, taking out an undead totem. Doing my best not to just randomly stand in pools of ether on the ground, but that went okay. Level 91. Point in physique, I've only got 1 skill point now, so I'm just going to put it into Ascension. Those nodes on Iskandras are maxed out. Meanwhile, getting to Revered. I was already Revered over here. I'm going to get that Witch's Black Flame thing. It's got burn damage and whatever buffs on it. And compare it to what I've got. You can mix and match these augments. You don't have to put the same augment on both rings and the amulet. I don't even think I've got one on that avatar I've ordered yet. Oh yeah, I have. Ruar is what's it. But I haven't got a component on there yet. I need to go and get Focusing Prism on there. You can always stockpile those augments in stash if you want to. And there's a level 90 shoulders. About time I got rid of that Dawnshard Pauldron thing, so I'm going to get rid of that. I only wanted it for the ether resistance really, and that Coven thing's got ether resistance on it. So get your tab 2 up, have a look at the damage, swap the thing over. Does the damage go up? Yeah, it does. Wonderful. Craft another Focusing Prism. Stick that on the amulet. Because I didn't salvage the previous one, I've kept it. Because it was a decent amulet for any build. And I want that. Endurance Relic, +1 to all skills and Oathkeeper and a bunch of stuff. So you need further, I think further, possibly random drop. Fortitude, you buy the blueprint from, well, I bought it from Coven. Equilibrium's a random drop. By now, hopefully, you've got enough to do this. This isn't the relic I'm going to stick with at the end. I want to get something like Iskandra's, what's it, the mythical one, but it's better than Calamity. 92 point in physique and another point in Ascension. Progressing on through the base game, getting into the Arcovian Undercity, level 93. I'm going to put a point into physique and I'm going to put yet another point into Ascension. And I still haven't got bored of spinning round. It's actually a very relaxing, chilled out way to play the game, gotta say. Wish I'd done it earlier. Same as when I did the Krieg's Evil Eye build, it's one of those things I wish I'd done it earlier. Here's the Kilrian fight coming up in Ultimate. There he is. I think he stunned me then. You can see when you stop spinning. Yeah, just run away, have a think about it, run back in. See you, mate. Talk to him, get level 94. Level 94 is pretty much all the high level gear, the legendary sets and everything. It's all level 94, there's nothing higher than that. So you kind of, whether you choose to continue using XP pots after 94 is up to you. I'm just doing a few things here. Don't want that. Don't want to waste components on shrines I don't need. First hidden path boss in Ultimate. Guardian of Krieg. You can see he damages me, but again, attack damage converted to health is really quite powerful. And there's the second hidden path boss. This is the one to farm for the pants until you get that magic 6% of attack damage converted to health, preferably with affixes that suit your build, so you can kill him over and over. He didn't even drop him at all then, but I'll be back. I will be back to farm the heck out of him. Level 95. Point in physique, another point in ascension. I'm not going to get nullification yet, I'll get it later. Here's the Lutra the Abandoned quest. You get an attribute point for this. This is in Broken Hills. Take Lutra out. Map back to the quest giver. This ghost over here. Hello. Where's my attribute point? There it is. Wonder where I'm going to put this. Oh yeah, in physique. Here's a summary of the build at level 95. I will quickly run through the gear. Most of this stuff has been described in detail in previous videos. Riftclaw Slicer, kind of essential for the build due to the damage conversion on Eye of Reckoning, converts physical damage to fire damage on Eye of Reckoning, and it adds a bunch of fire damage directly into the skill. You can more or less target farm that from a couple of areas in Forgotten Gods. You might have a different opinion on what would be a good shield for this build. That works fine as far as I'm concerned, so I'm using that. You buy that from here. The first version of it, Slayer Flame Black Hood, is level 65 item. That's the thing I'm wearing. When you get to Revered with them, there is an upgrade, a level 90 version with better stats overall, and you can play the vendor refresh game by going away in a portal, coming back after counting to 5, and it will refresh the stock. There's plenty of videos showing how to do that. Knocking around. Rings, I'm only wearing that because of the +2 to Eye of Reckoning. I'll get a better ring than that from somewhere. You can probably buy better rings from faction vendor shops, or you can farm living rings to get the +3 to Iskandras and get some really good resistance rolls on that, like I did with that. 61% poison and acid resistance is good on there. That's the drop. Earlier in this video I got that from Negan. He dropped that. I was really lucky. +1 to all skills and Oathkeeper and a bunch of fire stuff on it. And some other things, some resistances that are quite nice to have. That's really good. You might get a better thing than that. You might be able to buy something from a faction shop that's better. That is from the Coven. 41% ether resistance, 40% pierce resistance. You're going to get something similar to that. Again, you can play the vendor refresh game until you get higher resistances or whatever you want on that. That's from the Coven shop. And that looks like the level 90 item, because I'm revered with Coven, yeah, 1233 armor, that's the level 90 item. That's a random drop. Again, I'm prioritizing resistances. If you get a buff to elemental and fire and or burn, plus a bunch of good resistances on an item, wear it. You can farm those trousers from the Cellar Guardian on the Hidden Path quest. Again, it's been covered in several videos already. That belt, craftable item. Once I get to Revered with Order of Death's Vigil, I'll get an upgrade to that. That is the Endurance Relic, +1 to all skills and Oathkeeper. That's easy enough to get. And it's not that bad to craft. I'm pretty sure, I'm trying to think back now, because I'm recording this after watching the footage back. I think crafting that is in this video, if not the previous one. That is just a really nice drop. +49% to all damage and then +65% elemental, and it's got a burn on top of it. It's got a big health buff and it's got some decent resistances on it. Couldn't argue with that. You might get a better one than that drop. Again, you can buy blueprints and you can buy these things from factions that might be better. Boots got +2 to Eye of Reckoning on, they're quite old. Gloves got +2 to Eye of Reckoning, they're quite old. That's pretty much it. And with all the toggle skills on, Eye of Reckoning is doing a considerable amount of damage. Right, let's just talk about what I did with the attributes. I put the first 12 level ups, I put the points into Spirit. Every subsequent level up, I put the points into Physique. I put no points into Cunning. Health is kind of okay. Energy is wonderful. Skills, Oathkeeper's simple. That is maxed out to its hard cap, 26 out of 16. It's not over. If you're worried that you've gone over, just go to a spirit guide. There's one in Devil's Crossing and there's one down here. It's the one with the book. There you go, spirit guide. So if you're not sure, if you take a point out of that and it goes to 25, you know you're not. If I clicked on that and it stayed at 26, I'd know I was overcapped. You can either go and load the character up in Grim Tools and see if that's highlighted in red, or you can come to a spirit guide and do this. I think the game should tell you, the game should highlight it in red if it's overcapped, but it doesn't really matter. Right, so that's max, that's maxed. That's a 1 pointer, it's got the other 4 points from gear. That's maxed out, that's maxed out. That is maxed out, that's a defensive thing. I've been putting points into Ascension. If you look at that, alright, there's a whole load of text and writing and stuff. All I'm really getting from that is the damage buff and the damage absorption. Don't really care about retaliation damage, but I suppose it does its thing while I'm spinning around, and that's a 1 pointer just for a little bit of 100% life leech resist and 100% energy leech resist. Just a 1 point in there and you get that. That's really good. Arcanist, Iskandris is maxed out. That node is maxed, that node is maxed. That's a 1 pointer, that is maxed, that is maxed, maxed out, maxed out. I've got 1 point in that. I don't even know whether I need it. I think the minus 11% skill energy cost is helping. Without it, alright, I'd gain 1 skill point, but you know, I'm probably going to leave that in there for now. I am going to put a point in nullification. Nullification is really good for clearing yourself of debuffs and also debuffing enemies, which is kind of handy, but I haven't put a point in that yet. I haven't absolutely needed it yet, so that's where we are with that. Devotions, have a look in the video description. There's a path in there showing you the route to get to where I am with this. The main things to note, that's on Eye of Reckoning. That's on the movement skill. It's not, because I swapped the movement skill around. Sorry, I upgraded the medal just now and I didn't reattach that. So if you take the medal off, you lose charge. If you then put the medal back on, you get charge back, but the devotion that was bound to it, actually I think you've got to okay, you've got to change, you've got to actually change the item that charge is bound to, and then it will screw that up. But yeah, so check that. If you change your medal around and reattach the charge skill, make sure that whatever you had it bound to on here is still attached. I didn't, but I noticed, which is good. That's bound to a permanent toggle skill. That's bound to a permanent toggle skill. That's bound to Guardian of Empyrean. Yeah, have a look in the video description, and there'll be a path showing you how to achieve all that. I'll just go and kill some stuff just to show you. I'll go somewhere I haven't been yet. Let me show you how good this is. It's feeling really good now. I've got mirror on button 3 and I've got Ascension on Q. I don't use Ascension all the time. Big fights and boss fights, yeah, maybe. So really it's still just charge and Eye of Reckoning of the attack skills. And we're in Ultimate now, I mean, just in case you were wondering. Oh yeah, and resistances. Fire's excellent, cold's kind of getting there, lightning's pretty good, that's sort of okay, that's fairly high over cap, that's sort of okay. I got stun resist over the soft cap or hard cap, whatever you want to call it, that's okay, that's not too bad, and that's sort of alright. Some of those resistances could do with being increased. Yeah, I just turned Ascension on quickly then. I'll use it for the Voldrak fight, and I'll use Mirror halfway through the Voldrak fight. Here's a Totem. It is an ancient savage totem, so that's a pretty tough one. Triggered Ascension, I've triggered Mirror, I'm just standing in the middle of it all now. So that's what it does to an ancient totem in Ultimate. It's pretty good. Have a quick look through here, see what we can get. There's a Scorched Ends. Anything with Scorched Ends on it, you know has got a +2 to Eye of Reckoning. So there's a hat with a +2 to Eye of Reckoning. I don't want to lose the resistances that Cellar or Flamewood gives me, but that's pretty good. So that's quite nice. So if your resistances were sorted, you could swap that over. You get +2 to Eye of Reckoning. You could then go and take 2 points out of Eye of Reckoning because you run 2 over the hard cap. Dreadlord is attack damage converted to health. It's the wrong damage type and everything, but if you get anything with the Dreadlord prefix, have a look at it, because attack damage converted to health is really useful. Right, let's take Voldrak out. I'll trigger Ascension just as I go in. And there's Mirror. He's quite tough. He's going to give me a bad time here. The attack damage converted to health is out healing whatever damage he's doing. There you go. So you can face tank him, it's not difficult. That was a recent upgrade, recent farming upgrade. Searing of Scorching, 2 fire affixes. That thing's pretty good. Flame Wall. It's got fire retaliation on it, but all that burn damage and fire damage and elemental damage is just great. Charge in, spin around. And as you can see, in Ultimate it's working fine. It's going well. The Krieg fight earlier in the video shows how well it did against him, and he can be nasty in Ultimate. I think I'll get one more video out for this at level 100, but there's not an awful lot more to say really. The build's kind of turned out how I wanted it to. Minimal skills, and it's pretty tough, and it destroys things easily, and you can permanently spin around without worrying about energy. So yeah, I may well do one more video at level 100, but just assume I'm going to put points into that, and I'm going to put a point into nullification. I'm not going to do anything clever. I'm not going to get any more skills. I could. I mean, you could probably optimize it by picking a few more 1-pointers and doing various stuff if you want to do that, fine. I'm just going to put a point in nullification and continue to put points into that. Hopefully, if you've stuck with this series from the start, you've enjoyed it. If you've been leveling one of these characters, hope you've had fun with it. Thank you very much for watching any of my stuff. Massively appreciate anyone who comments or likes or does any of that stuff. I never ask for it. I don't ask for it. It's up to you. If you watch a video and enjoy it, that's all I care about really. I'll see you all in the next one.